Amber Heard sobbed in front of a crowded Virginia courtroom as she testified about her claimed physical and sexual abuse at the hands of her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. During their difficult relationship, the Aquaman actress described a series of distinct assault events, including a multi-day assault in Australia that culminated in Depp pinning her to a kitchen countertop and vaginally penetrating her with a liquor bottle in a room littered with broken bottles. "I wasn't sure if the bottle he had in me had cracked," she explained. "Please, God, don't shatter it," I pleaded. Heard's evidence concluded the dramatic 15th day of Depp's $50 million defamation case against his ex-wife. Heard spoke to the jury for more than 6 hours, dressed primly in a white dress and black cardigan with her hair put back in a bun. The graphic accounts were the final testimony jurors heard before the case was adjourned for 10 days while Judge Penney Azcarate attends a previously planned conference, which was a deliberate maneuver by Heard's counsel. Heard's counsel had lost a bid to reject Depp's suit at the halfway point of the trial earlier in the week. When the jury considers whether Heard defamed Depp with a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she claimed she was a victim of domestic abuse, the 7-member jury will have to sort through contradictory stories from the former pair. In 2015, during a horrific 3 days in Australia, the Pirates of the Caribbean star lost the tip of his finger. He said he was the victim of domestic violence and was hurt when Heard threw a bottle of beer at him. Depp's injuries necessitated hand surgery and his departure from the set of Pirates of Caribbean 5 in order to recover. Heard, who filed a $100 million countersuit against Depp in Australia, claimed a completely different series of events. Depp brought out a bag of MDMA and proposed they consume it together shortly after they arrived, she told the court on Thursday. She recalls saying, "Absolutely not. He shoved me and I flew over the parquet floors," she remembered from her first night there. Her memories are hazy, but she claims he pushed me up against the refrigerator later. "He grabbed my throat and held it." According to Heard, a sleep-deprived Depp took 10 ecstasy tablets on the second day and began accusing her of having affairs with her Danish Girl co-star Eddie Redmayne and her London Fields co-stars Billy Bob Thornton and Jim Sturgis. She stated, "I recall him smashing my head on. He grabbed my neck and squeezed it, which was really uncomfortable. No one likes me, for example. I was warned about you by everyone. I recall being deeply hurt. 'You want to go, little girl?' he murmured after I shoved him hard to get him off me. The conflict intensified. He informed me he was going to hack up my face with a broken bottle on my face, neck area around my jawline," Heard claimed. Heard claimed Depp began throwing bottles at her and ripped off her nightgown, in sharp contrast to Depp's testimony last month. He began beating a wall while she stood naked, yelling, "I frickin' hate you, you fricked up my life," she said. Heard began crying on the stand as she recalled being beaten with the liquor bottle as Depp stood there watching carefully. She then went to bed after taking a load of sleeping tablets. Depp was still awake when she awoke to loud music. Blood, paint, and mashed potatoes were spread throughout the walls and lampshades. Even worse, her nightgown, a wedding gift from Depp's detox doctor, was ripped to shreds and wrapped in raw skin. She claims she had vaginal bleeding. Except for Depp and Heard, no one else stayed in the Australia rental. While Heard narrated the ordeal, Depp shook his head. The actress was the sole witness, and her portrayal of Depp as a jealous and violent drug addict never let up. She won't be subjected to cross-examination until the court reconvenes on May 16th. She claimed he head-butted me straight in the nose, causing searing pain. She claims Depp threatened to murder her 3 times. With the movie star couple walking red carpets around the world, Heard's evidence played like a macabre, B-side version of an ostensibly dazzling existence. Before the 2014 Met Gala, the actress claimed Depp assaulted her in their hotel room. "Johnny shoves me and clutches my collarbone area, not my neck, but the top of my neck above my collarbone below my neck," she explained. "I believe at that point, I pushed him away. However, I'm not sure. He tossed a bottle at me, I recall. The chandelier was broken, yet it didn't hit me. In the living room, Johnny and I are fighting, and he sort of shoves me down a couch, and I get up and try to get him off of me, and he's stronger than me. I don't know how else to put it," she added. "At some point, he smacked myself across the face. Does this look like a broken nose?" For the first time, I recall thinking, "At the time, I had no idea what the sensation represented, but I imagined it was a broken nose." While on a private jet to Boston in 2014, Heard played an unhinged Depp who was gripped by jealousy over her Editorial Diaries co-star James Franco. He was enraged that I accepted the job opposite James Franco. He disliked James Franco and had already accused her of having had an affair with him, she explained. Can you tell me if he slipped the tongue? Depp is said to have said while smelling of weed and drink, I was looking out the window and he hits my face, she said on the stand, sobbing. That was the first time I'd seen something like that in public. Although she claimed to have left, the abuse continued. She explained, This boot is in my back. He just kicked me in the back. There was no sound. Nobody stepped in. You could hear a pin drop on the plane. Depp's sister, Christy Dembrowski, and members of a security team who were aboard the plane previously testified that they never saw Depp mistreat Heard. Depp might be heard groaning like a wounded animal on audio recordings from the aircraft given by Heard's lawyers. Heard claimed he later passed out in the bathroom, prompting her to begin attending Al-Anon meetings while he sought medical help to detox from drugs. She explained, I was attempting to summon the courage to walk away from him. The premiere of Depp's 2015 film Mordecai in Tokyo was another low moment in the relationship. He grabbed my arm and smashed me up against the wall, and I kind of wrestled with him, trying to throw him off of me, and I managed to escape out of his grasp enough to take a few steps, and I kind of twisted around and go into the closet, Heard revealed ahead of the premiere. By the time I got into the closet, he had me by the hair and was wailing on me in a sloppy manner, smacking the back of my head and wrestling me to the floor. She claims she continued examining photographs from the event online after the couple walked the Mordecai red carpet to see if she had bruising on her body. Heard said that Depp's aggressive conduct was motivated in part by his drug use. I did nothing to get him to quit punching me. Nothing, she explained. I tried for a year, maybe two. I'm simply not responding physically or verbally. I made an attempt to stop moving. I attempted to change my location. I tried verbally retaliating. I'd threatened to call the police if he hit me again. Several times the cops were called. However, I made every effort to complete each task. I even threatened and attempted to leave him, but nothing worked. And I believe that by this stage in our relationship, we are both saying horrible things to each other, yelling at each other, and unfortunately, when Johnny was striking me, he just flew into a rage. Depp's team utilized many witnesses to demonstrate Heard as the physically aggressive partner in the marriage and Depp as the passive victim before resting its case on Tuesday. On the stand, the actress admitted to punching Depp in the face during an altercation in Los Angeles where she thought he was going to push her sister down a flight of stairs. While Depp's legal team will have to wait for Heard's cross-examination, a spokeswoman for the actor provided an appraisal of the actress's time on the stand. Miss Heard did indeed give the performance of her life in her direct examination, according to the spokesperson, as Mr. Depp's counsel correctly predicted in their opening arguments last month. During the 6 agonizing years since Miss Heard's first charges, Mr. Depp's recollections have stayed unchanged. The truth is the same regardless of the context. Mr. Depp's team's future cross-questioning will be revealing, highlighting the numerous falsehoods Miss Heard has now attempted to pass off her convoluted proof as fact. As indicated by the statement just made, Mr. Depp's defamation action is collapsing so quickly that his counsel are changing from prosecutor to persecutor, Heard's team said. Mr. Depp's story hasn't changed, they claim. If that's the case, given that he lost the domestic violence restraining order and the libel case in the United Kingdom, instead of the familiar tactic of blaming the victim and refusing to take responsibility for his own acts, he'd want to try something new. Like and subscribe as we will be bringing more such videos on our channel.